Hello again, dear listeners. My name is Danny Johnson, but you undoubtedly know me as...
Hello, Ghostface.
Oh, I didn't realize you were already awake. Usually survivors make some sort of noise of fear when they're near me.
I'm simply built different. Also, this isn't exactly the weirdest place I've woken up in. Have you ever been to Florida, Ghostface? Or, isn't your name Danny, actually?
Oh, I'm familiar with Florida. You can do whatever you want there. It's a lawless land. A truly lawless land, Mr. Park.
You can just call me Jake. Mr. Park was my dad. He was... Yeah, I'd rather not talk about him.
Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to talk. I brought you here to interview you about your personal experiences with your fellow survivors.
Oh, alright. Cool, I guess.
Cool, I guess?
Yep, cool, I guess.
Perhaps I should elaborate. I expect a passionate response from you, Mr. Park. You are going to provide interesting conversation for the listeners at home. Or else.
Yep, cool, I guess.
Would you stop being so fucking nonchalant?
Listen, Daniel.
I don't go by...
It feels like I've been in the fog for centuries. I've seen some crazy shit, man. And honestly, compared to some of these other killers, you're pretty mid, my guy. I'm pretty sure you've shown me the worst that you are capable of.
Underestimating me will be the worst mistake you'll ever make. You do not want to know what I'm capable of without the restrictions that the entity places upon me in the trials. You're in my domain, Hermit, and you will fear me.
Yep, cool, I guess.
Whatever. Put up an act if you want to. I'll get you to scream.
Overrated movie.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, let's just start the interview. What are your opinions on Dwight Fairfield?
Dwight? He can get it.
Get... what?
You know. It.
Pennywise?
No, like, I keep dropping hints when we talk, but he's so hot for David that I don't think he even registers it. David King's a lucky guy. Twinks, man.
Okay, then. Well, how do you feel about Meg Thomas? On our last episode, she alleged that you have, quote, fucked just about all the non-lesbo females, unquote. And that, quote, he's pretty good at it too, unquote. Your response?
Meg. Always telling it how it is, I guess. She's right, though, more or less. Although with that answer, I guess she doesn't know about my real sexuality.
And what would that be?
Oh, I'm bi. It's kind of been a more recent development, really. But it's not like the entirety of my personality. You can be a little gay and not have it define you, you know?
Are any of you survivors heterosexual?
Are any of you killers?
Ugh, things I've seen in this realm. The depravity of all of it.
I don't know. The depravity shouldn't really be a surprise. I mean, have you seen the DBD Gone Wild subreddit? It's pretty fucking...
Back to the topic at hand. Meg Thomas.
Right. I guess I've known her for a long time. Meg, Dwight, Claudes, and I were dragged into the fog around the same time, so it's like we sorta grew up together, in this realm at least. And because of that, we know each other's strengths and weaknesses pretty well. We can work together as one hell of a team against basically any killer if we're grouped up. My main issue with Meg, though, is that she gets mad so easily. I tried teaching her how to use my perk, Calm Spirit, but she's kind of the opposite of that. I wish she would just slow down for once. Might do her some good.
I'm glad we both agree that she's annoying and stupid.
I never said...
But one survivor who doesn't seem annoying or stupid is Claudette Morel. Well, I suppose the inability to ever see her on a dark map is annoying, but personality-wise, is it the same?
Yeah, no, she's really cool. We used to go on walks, and she would just stop every minute to point out some cool plant and just ramble on for hours about how they grow and the science behind it. I was mostly spaced out while she was talking, but eventually I asked her, jokingly, if we could smoke any of the plants here. I wasn't being serious, but she took it upon herself to actually concoct something. I learned two things that day. One, that Claudette, of all people, can seriously roll a blunt. And two, dude, entity weed? That shit hits. I think it's the one good thing about being here. It really mellows you out. Way more than regular weed. I was smoking some with Jeff before you kidnapped me, actually.
So, you're saying you're inebriated right now?
I spent a ridiculous amount of time in the scary-ass wilderness. How do you think I'm so calm all the time?
Oh, this is very unprofessional, Mr. Park.
Majorly fuck being a professional. Also, you kidnapped me, dude, like...
Moving on. Please tell me you have something to say about Nia Carlson.
We don't talk about...
Let me guess. You do not.
We do not talk about...
I'm sensing a pattern here. Nevertheless, what are your feelings on the sole survivor, Laurie Strode?
Oh, yeah. She reminds me of that girl from that movie about the guy with the knife who hunts down babysitters. You know the one, right?
I don't watch scary movies that much.
What's your favorite scary movie?
The Birds, I guess. You know, Hitchcock?
That is quite possibly the lamest horror movie you could have named.
What? You have no appreciation for the classics, the originals, and besides, we're not here to talk about me, okay? Tell me about you and Laurie Strode.
She's on high alert a lot, to say the least. Yeah, I get it. Michael fucking Myers always stalks her and shit, but she's always looking behind her like we're about to attack.
Oh, that vigilance. It probably explains why it's so hard to catch her. And what about Ace Visconti?
Ace? I can see why he's generally perceived as annoying by the survivors, but he never usually bothers me. Probably because he knows I'm too smart to swindle.
What about William Overbeck? Or Bill, I suppose.
Bill. Ah, what a hero. Just like my grandpa. Weird to think about the fact that they might have seen each other on the battlefield. I like hanging out with him at the campfire and hearing all of those stories about him mowing through hordes of zombies in Philly. Pretty sure he's just bullshitting, but it's nice to sit back and listen to. I, too, am an apocalypse survivor. He seems like an old dog who's seen a lot and isn't going down without a fight. Hell, me and some of the other survivors call him Grandpa sometimes. But it's never mean. We love our Grandpa. He's a tight dude.
I never got to know my grandpa. On either side of the family, really. For a long time, it was just me, Mom, and Dad. But I think family is overrated, at best.
Yeah, tell me about it. Hey, wait, is the fact that I agree with you on something a red flag, or...
Oh, no. It just means you're one step closer to greatness, my friend.
Friend?
Don't flatter yourself, it's an expression. So, Feng Min, what's she like?
Feng, she's something. She gets really bad tunnel vision, where she just focuses on the objective so hard that she forgets that she has 3 other teammates, and then leaves the trial thinking that she carried us. Or she'll just try her best to annoy the killer to, mixed results. She also thinks I'm a pog champ. I don't like to associate myself with anyone who uses Twitch lingo in real life.
Twitch?
Yeah, like the streaming? Oh, you're from the 90s, right? So you don't even know what live streaming is, probably. Kinda makes sense, cause, Scream came out in the 90s and all.
What are you talking about?
Well, that's where you got the Ghostface mask from, right? Scream? Scary movie? Aren't you, one of those licensed killers?
I bought the mask from a costume store. Figured it would be less easy for the authorities to track my purchase. And what the hell is a licensed killer? Are you talking about my add-ons, or...?
Huh, I guess I know some things that you don't know about the realm. You gotta smoke some entity weed, man. Really opens up your eyes to shit. I think our life's a simulation. A game.
I am perfectly capable of murdering people without performance-enhancing drugs. Talbot, however, seems miserable without them. What a brilliant fool.
Man, who wakes up one day and decides to name their kid Talbot?
The Scots. Speaking of Europeans, how do you feel about David King?
David? He's a big dude, but I can see past the British tough guy thing he's got going on. One time, I challenged him to a wrestling match. We were waiting for another trial, so I decided to say fuck it. I was bored. He seemed elated to fight me. A little too excited, honestly. I put up a good fight, but he beat me. Easily. Even though he was running no mither. He threw my ass on the ground as Dwight swooned, and Cheryl rolled her eyes. Afterwards, the asshole, he flexed his pecs and gloated and shit as he towered over me. You know, guy stuff. But, I don't think he realized that I had won that fight from the beginning.
How exactly did you win that?
I got to wrestle with a shirtless David King. Dwight looked so jealous. I almost felt bad for him.
Well played, Mr. Park. I guess I can agree that carrying a build like that on my shoulders is pretty nice.
You know, looking back on it, if you are supporting my actions, there's probably something wrong with what I did back there. And, don't call me Mr. Park, Daniel. That's more like my dad, and... Seriously, fuck that guy.
Ooh, daddy issues. Now we're finally getting interesting.
No, for real, man. Fuck off.
No, believe me, I get the feeling. Fathers are, well, most of the time it seems they're never there in the way you need them to be.
Ghostface, no offense, but the last thing I'm gonna do is trust whatever the fuck comes out of your mouth.
Call me a liar again, and it may indeed be the last thing you do.
Oh, alright. Cool, I guess.
Fucking cool, I guess. What are your opinions on Quentin Smith?
I mean, when he's not asleep, he's alright. He's definitely the kind of guy who I used to smoke joints with back in high school. We just get baked and talk about what our dreams mean and vibe around the campfire.
So you were a stoner in high school too?
I mean, I smoked when I could, but I wasn't a stoner yet. I think dropout is more appropriate. My dad wanted me to be perfect, so I said fuck that and dipped.
My dad wanted me to be perfect too, so I got all A's. I joined every club in school. I even took up a job to pay bills for the house so that he wouldn't have to keep working overtime.
And let me guess. Wasn't enough? Like, whatever you do, you're still not good enough for him?
We must have had similar fathers.
Yeah, man. Totally. It's, kind of weird that we have something in common.
Oh, common ground between fathers. Did you finally feel seen when you stabbed yours too?
I didn't kill him, man.
Oh. So, David Tapp.
I'm not a big fan of cops, but Tapp, he's more like the valiant cops you see in movies. Not the real-life cops that tried to jail you just because you're a minority with a pinch of bud. So he's fine by me.
I can't say I'm really that fond of the police either.
Yeah, but there's a difference between being a serial killer and being non-white. Although, in America, they'll police you for each thing in similar ways. Fuck the police. ACAB, bro. Model minority, my ass.
How do you know I'm not both a minority and a serial killer?
Your name is Danny Johnson. That's like milk white, dude.
And yours is Jake Park. That's like toast white.
Yeah, fair enough.
Speaking of white-sounding names, what about Kate Denson?
Oh, she was my girlfriend for a bit. She's nice. Nice to everybody. She strums her guitar, like, whenever possible. I play too, actually. Sometimes I strum while she sings. We make a good combo at the campfire. Feed off each other's energy.
Aw, isn't that nice?
Yeah, that chemistry we have makes it way more satisfying when I plow the fuck out of her.
That is significantly less nice.
What? She's like the hottest survivor. Well, maybe besides David. Ah, man. I want to wrestle him again. Ooh, but maybe this time Dwight gets involved and we...
Dear God, is this what being secluded in the woods does to a man? Ew. What about Adam Francis?
He's, chill. Down to earth, you know? I don't think he likes me that much, considering I'm not exactly a good student. I wanted to know how he can always Kobe himself off the hook, like, every time without fail, right? So he told me it was his perk Deliverance. He tried to teach it to me, but I just could not focus. Something about teachers, I think. That tone they use. Like they assume you don't know anything. I think it's the same tone my older brother used from time to time. Ugh. So yeah, I still don't know Deliverance. Maybe someday I'll learn it, though.
It seems you have much to learn. Don't worry. I'm a pretty good teacher. What about Jeff Johansson? You mentioned him earlier.
Yeah, he's a big softy. We get high, I play guitar, he draws, and we just vibe, man. Sometimes he lets me put random doodles in his sketchbook. They're not really good, but it's fun to come up with weird shit on the fly. I think he appreciates it. Oh, and his playlist. Dude, his playlist? Banger after banger. I don't know how he streams shit in the entity's realm since we don't have Wi-Fi here, but damn, man.
I'll be sure to find out and tell the entity.
Boo! What are you, a narc?
Jed Olson is a law-abiding citizen. Can the same be said for Jane Romero?
She's, kind of like Meg, but less angry and more passionate. She talks and talks and talks, but she also listens to people. Lots of people vent to her. Her and Kate, mainly. She's like the group therapist. Doesn't mean she takes shit, though. She can put people like Ace and Ash in their place so fast, it's scary. Well, almost scary. I don't think anyone really fears Jane all that much.
Ah, good. All the fear here should be reserved for me.
Honestly, man, I don't think they fear you either.
Next is Ashley Williams, the alleged savior of humanity.
He has that badass robot hand, but I don't know the real story behind it. I don't even know if he does. Ash makes up a new backstory every time he talks about it. But, he's just your standard, mildly problematic boomer. Kinda lame, like my old man. But hey, at least he knows how to party. He told me once about how him and his friend invented this drink called the Pink Fuck, and how that shit is like loaded with ketamine. I didn't know what ketamine tastes like, but I kinda want to find out after hearing Ash talk about it.
Go for it. Getting stabbed isn't the only way to die.
Was that supposed to be funny?
And how do you feel about Nancy Wheeler?
Oh, her? Haven't talked to her. At all. All I know is that she's pretty good friends with Zarina. I guess journalists stick together.
Oh, Miss Wheeler is a fellow journalist?
Yeah. Wait, fellow?
You're very perceptive, Mr. Park. Yes, I was a journalist. Quite simply, the best one. My articles were page-turning stories. And even better, they were based on true events. Everyone loves a good murder mystery.
So, the murder stuff, that was like a side hustle?
Murder is an art form, not a side hustle. Do not trivialize my life's work.
Alright, man.
What?
Nah, I get it. Murder means a lot to you for whatever reason. So, you don't like it when people disrespect it. I remember my dad used to tell me all the time, Jake, you will never be a guitar-playing cowboy. Stop having such ridiculous dreams. Go back to studying. And you know, that rejection of something I held close to me, it really sucked, man, you know? So, you're a serial killer. That's cool. I respect that.
Really? That's exactly how I feel. No one's ever really understood me before.
Well, yeah, because you're a fucking serial killer, you psycho. Fuck off. I don't respect your little hobby. I just wanted to fuck with you, loser.
Why would you?
No one's ever topped you before, have they?
Moving on. Steve Harrington. Steve, tell me about Steve and the rest of the survivors so I can hurry up and stab you.
I mean, you could just do it now. What, you don't want to break your precious psychopathic ritual?
Steve fucking Harrington.
I think he's pretty cool. Like, he radiates cool energy. He's pretty friendly to most people in like a bro kind of way. Also, he's a great team player.
Yep, cool. Yui Kimura?
Why the rush, Danny? I thought you wanted interesting responses.
Yui Kimura.
I appreciate her attitude. She's someone who fights till the bitter end. It's super cool. I mean, she's a biker. How much cooler can you get than that? Plus, she's like, really hot. God damn, those muscles, my guy.
Ugh, ew. Cheryl Mason.
She kinda freaks me out. It seems like she's seen too much, even for the entity's realm standards. There's definitely more to her than she lets on. Maybe some supernatural shit. I don't know. The only time I had a long conversation with her was when I was learning her perks. Well, except Repressed Alliance. That shit freaks me out. She can just, like, control a piece of the entity, and no one else is like, yeah, that's a red flag. I don't know, man. She keeps to herself mostly, and maybe that's for the best.
Her perk is the one that blocks off generators, yes? Pathetic. She clearly stole that from me.
Oh, so Thrilling Tremors is your perk.
Yes. So you've seen the other killers use it. It must be quite meta, much like my other perks.
No. Not really.
What do you mean?
The killers don't really use your perks that much because they're all kind of meh.
You're telling me that I'm all ears, thrilling tremors, and furtive chase, they're all...
Middle-of-the-road perks at best. Kinda bad at worst. It's ironic, actually, because that's where you actually fit in on a lot of the tier lists.
Tier lists?
Oh yeah, the survivors tend to rank the killers based on strength, and in almost everyone's tier list, you're, usually C tier. You know, middle of the road.
I am going to fucking murder all of you.
Well, you might not. Kind of hard to do so consistently when you're a C-tier killer, so...
Cool, don't care. What about Felix Richter? Do you think he's hot like everyone else does?
Well, yeah, he's hot and all, almost objectively, but he's super awkward. Not in the cute way like Dwight is. Felix is way more like Claudette than David or Steve, so, turn-on-wise? If he had just a little more confidence, maybe. Can't hold a conversation, but at least he's good with gens.
And what about Elodie Riccotto?
I think she's really pretty. Actually, nah. Beautiful is a better word. She's as beautiful as she is smart. And she seems to have all of this knowledge about the occult and secret societies and all that, which, I would have thought was just crazy talk before being taken, but now I'm more inclined to believe. Plus, I know what it's like to be a rich kid.
Wait, you were affluent?
Yeah, stupidly rich, man. We had maids and everything. 12 cars in the yard of the mansion for absolutely no reason other than to flex. It was awful.
Awful? Dirt poor doesn't even begin to cover how rough my living conditions were. My mom and dad would spend hours yelling at each other in our tiny mobile home over finances, and they blamed me for a lot of it. Said if I hadn't been born, my mom wouldn't have gotten postpartum, and if she hadn't been so depressed, she could actually contribute to getting us out of that hellhole. But I tried. I worked really hard, for my parents, but they never saw me. They never noticed when my little violent habits started forming. I don't think they ever cared, Jake. They never got me.
Okay. Why exactly did you start monologuing?
I find it interesting that you were wealthy and your father still wanted more from you, and you didn't make him pay for neglecting you like that. That choice, it fascinates me.
Cool. I'm not your fucking therapist. How many survivors do we have left, Ghostface?
Just one. I haven't had time to stalk any of the newer survivors that came after the Nemesis. The last survivor for today's interview is Yoonjin Lee.
Yeah, speaking of rich, Yoonjin Lee. Ugh. She's a real cutthroat capitalist. She only cares about herself. Reminds me of my dad. She is an absolute snob. Funny story, actually. On our first trial together, she was muttering some rude shit in Korean, and I replied back to her in Korean, and oh, you should have seen the shocked look on her face.
Oh, Korean. That's what you are.
Oh, yeah. My grandparents were Korean immigrants, so my family was really insistent that we stay close with our heritage or something like that. Hanboks and hakama and all that. Surprisingly, speaking in Korean comes in handy more often than you'd think it would.
Like making a snarky comeback to someone you just met?
Yeah, to be fair, she was being a complete bitch to Claudette. No one's a bitch to Claude's. Not to my friends. Period. She had it coming.
Friendship. I don't get it. I really don't.
It's weird. In another world, Danny, we probably could have been friends.
You really mean that?
Well, yeah. If you were less of a fucking douche, then yeah, sure.
Well then, I believe that is all the time we have left today for the Ghostface Interviews series.
Let me guess. You're gonna kill me now?
Did you expect anything else?
No, just want you to get it done and over with. I think the entity weed's wearing off.
Oh, come on, Jakey. No pleading for your life. Begging for mercy. Not even a few whimpers of fear and terror of the Ghostface.
Have you seen my perks, my guy?
Ugh, you're no fun. No matter what I do, I cannot get any delectable sounds out of your damn mouth. What's even the point?
Yeah, Danny, what is the point, man? You don't have to kill everyone to be seen, I see you. And no, not even like I'm revealing you. I mean, I really, truly see you for who you are. We have so much in common, dude. But you're gonna stab me anyway, right? Because that's all you can do in life? Because that's the only way you can express yourself? Come on, man. You don't want to do this. You're better than this. right?
Yeah, alright. Cool, I guess.
Cool, I guess?
No one's ever topped you before, have they?
Ugh, fuck me, dude.
Gladly. Hold still.